Boyfriend lied about getting a vasectomy and tried to force me to have his baby. After I had an abortion, he threatened my life. Hey everyone, I'm a 34-year-old woman named Finn, and I've been in a relationship with Finn, who's 47, for just over a year now. We both live separately, but sometimes I crash at his place. Finn's quite the catch, handsome, fit, funny, and incredibly charitable. What really drew me to him was his kindness. He's just so thoughtful and considerate. I've got PTSD, so being intimate is a big deal for me. I need to feel safe and trust the person. Finn seemed to get that and didn't push it. We didn't get intimate until about 2 months in, and even then, I was pretty drunk and felt awful the next morning. But he was so sweet and comforting. Didn't get mad or blame me at all. After that, our sex life was pretty great, and I insisted on using condoms every single time. There was an incident when we were in the middle of having sex, and he asked if he could ditch the condom. I said no, but he complained that it wasn't feeling good, and he couldn't climax with one on. I held my ground, and afterward, he acted all cold and distant, which was out of character for him. When I tried to kiss him and offer water, he muttered, "Oh, now you care about me." We had a bit of a tiff about it, where he vented that he felt like he was giving everything to make me happy, but wasn't getting the same in return because I insisted on using protection. I explained my fears about pregnancy, especially since I live somewhere where getting an abortion is super tough. He argued that I was on birth control, but I told him that wasn't foolproof. I suggested that we could talk about ditching the condoms if he got a vasectomy since they're reversible. He apologized the next morning for being a jerk, took me to the spa, and we moved past it. Around the 6-month mark, Finn mentioned that he saw us getting serious and brought up the condom issue again. I reiterated my position, and he said he needed to think about it. A couple of months ago, he went on a work trip, and when he got back, he was all over me. I was in a really rough spot with my depression, and he seemed annoyed, thinking I was punishing him for being away. He kept pestering about the condom until he finally claimed he'd had a vasectomy. I stupidly agreed to go without one, and from then on, we stopped using condoms. Eventually, my period was late, and I started stressing out. Then, I found out I was pregnant. When I told Finn, he was ecstatic and thought it was some kind of sign. When I asked about the vasectomy, he downplayed its effectiveness, just like condoms and birth control. I told him absolutely not. I was going to visit my best friend in another state and check out the reproductive health clinics there. He got really mad, saying I couldn't murder his child and that he'd take care of us. When I tried to leave, he blocked the door, which made me feel trapped and even more upset. He finally let me go after I threatened to call for help. Since then, Finn's been blowing up my phone, saying I hurt him by acting scared of him and that I know he'd never hurt me. He even tried to guilt-trip me, saying I played the victim card and that could ruin him. He mentioned that my PTSD and depression were making me think irrationally, twisting my own words to make me doubt myself. I've been ignoring his calls and texts, but I feel like a coward. He literally lied about getting a vasectomy, and now I'm stuck in this mess. So let me tell you about the crazy experience I went through. My boyfriend, who had supposedly gotten a vasectomy, ended up getting me pregnant. Turns out he lied about it just because he wanted to ditch condoms. Can you believe that? I'm always honest about being on birth control. I use the patch, but let me bring you up to speed. I made an appointment and went through with an abortion. It was a truly awful experience, but thankfully, my bestie was by my side, and the whole staff at the clinic was super kind and supportive. I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who encouraged me to get it done. Yes, it was tough, but being pregnant and stuck with him would have been way worse. Finn texted me on Wednesday, apologizing and saying he said things he didn't mean. He begged me to answer my phone since I'd been ignoring him. My bestie actually recorded the whole phone call. Before I could even say hello, he went on and on about how amazing I am, how much he loves me, and how he knows I'd be a great mother. He even said he'd marry me immediately if that was a concern, When I finally got a word in, I told him I wasn't pregnant anymore and that I never wanted to be. I was clear about this from the start. He asked if it was a miscarriage and said, "I know you wouldn't willingly murder our child, right? Say it was a miscarriage." I just got quiet. Then he said it's okay. Miscarriages aren't the woman's fault, and we could just try again. I reiterated that we were never trying to begin with. I was on birth control, and he supposedly had a vasectomy. And guess what? He laughed and admitted he lied about the vasectomy so I'd stop using condoms. He said he decided long ago that I was perfect and wanted me to be the mother of his kids. My bestie jumped in and said it was all recorded and warned him to leave me alone, or she'd post it on social media. That's when he lost it, started screaming, then sounded like he was crying, calling me a witch and a hateful murderer who broke his heart. He ended up saying if I tried to slander him, I should remember that actions have consequences. Then he broke up with me, but said he'd check back in a few days when I was actually alone to talk in person. He wanted us to go to church together on Sunday and even set a time to pick me up. I said no, B. I'd had my ring cam on, and sure enough, he showed up at my door. He noticed my car wasn't there and texted me, asking if I was sleeping around and letting another man ride me like a wild horse without a condom. He said if so, he gets a hall pass and demanded I come home immediately to understand our relationship. I'm coming home tomorrow and honestly don't know what to do. To anyone who wants to shame me about the abortion, I have zero regrets, and I'll stand by my decision. If you're disrespectful or bigoted, your opinion means nothing to me, and I'll probably just laugh about it. My bestie's coming home with me, and I've got a friend in the city who's already at my place, watching it for me. I'm in a safe location, with 2 male friends who know the whole story, and we're looking into options. I don't want to do anything hasty. A guy friend is at my home, and so far it's been quiet. He'll update you when I know more. No, I'm not going to harm myself despite what some of you have messaged me. It's ironic that those who call themselves pro-life seem to want me to take my own life. FYI, I don't want to get pregnant because my doctors have told me I have a high chance of not surviving a pregnancy and the baby wouldn't likely make it either. I'm not eligible for tubal ligation or a hysterectomy where I live until I'm 40, and I can't afford it out of pocket. If I ever find the right person, I'm open to adopting in the future. To those pointing out that this isn't just about the abortion but about my ex not respecting me and trying to trap me in a long-term relationship, you're absolutely right. He lied about the vasectomy, and now he's gaslighting and trying to control me. I'm starting to see that I need to take action to protect myself. I trusted him so much, and it's hard to process all of this. Some of you have suggested I might not be able to afford a lawyer. That's true, I work in the arts and can't swing those costs. But my bestie is coming home with me, and a friend is already house-sitting. We're checking into everything, including the possibility of reproductive violence charges and whether he can be charged with rape for this. Every state has its own rules, so we'll see. Going to church with him really freaks me out. What kind of church is it anyway? Do you think he's getting all riled up because of his church buddies? Honestly, you should consider crashing at a friend's place for a bit and then maybe stay with a family member or another friend. This dude sounds scary AF, not gonna lie. So he goes to this mega church with a coffee shop in it, but only on holidays. I told him I didn't want to be involved, but he begged me to go for Easter, so I did. This place was massive, like bigger than a 90s shopping mall with shops and everything. Anyway, update time. I totally forgot about my post, so apologies. I didn't realize so many of you reached out to check in or offer kind words. A lot went down in a short period, but I'll keep it brief. Finn showed up at my house again, but I wasn't home. I caught him on my Ring camera having a total fit. He was cursing me out over the phone, and when he got my voicemail, he kept muttering, "I'm going to kill her," over and over again, super loud before storming off. I've been getting tons of hate mail, texts, and messages on Facebook calling me a murderer, mostly from people at Finn's church. So, I texted him saying the harassment better stop, or he'll post all the recordings, calls, threats, texts, voicemails, everything. He replied, saying he's been patient in his love for me, but that I'm being a brat. He also said I need to meet with him because he won't spoil me anymore and thinks discipline needs to be part of our relationship because actions have consequences. My bestie suggested I go to the police, so we did, but nothing concrete has happened yet. It's a small town near a bigger city, and it seems a lot of the poll. I also go to Finn's church. Things came to a head last week. I sent some of the recordings to Finn's parents, who work at the local mega church. Finn's mom reached out, apologizing a lot, and said his position at the church is terminated. They're going to decide on further consequences. She also shared that she had an abortion before Finn was born because the father was manipulative and abusive, and she wasn't ready to be a mom. She married Finn's dad later and had her kids. She told me I shouldn't be harassed by Christians claiming to be pro-life. Finn's sister texted me saying she doesn't condone what he's been doing and offered support if I needed anything. Finn got arrested for assault recently, though I don't know who he assaulted or why. He put me down as his partner, so I was called to pick him up when he was released, probably after sobering up. I didn't go. I'm now looking for a new place to live since he knows my address and has come by more than a couple of times. I'm staying with two of my best friends away from my town, and my house is just storage for now. Despite everything, I'm actually really happy. My friends threw me a Yeet That Fetus party, decorating with troll comments from my last post. They even made a piñata out of his and his church buddies' texts. Instead of candy, it had condoms, small bottles of lube, and papers with donations to a reproductive health clinic near my city. They also volunteered hours there. We're planning a summer trip to kick off a hot girl summer. My two male friends have been checking on my house and saw Finn there once. They made it clear that I'm protected and that actions have consequences. I've got it all on my Ring camera, and it was glorious. Finn sent me a text saying I'm a cruel witch who ruined his life and broke his heart all because he loved me. But then he told me not to act scared of him anymore because he's lie. Aving the state for a new job. He ended the message with, I have and always will love you. Like, bro, take the sugar out of your Kool-Aid because I'm not drinking it anymore. Not everything is sunshine and roses, though. I've been in a lot of therapy, realizing I overlooked a ton of red flags. I need to unlearn a lot of people-pleasing behaviors to become a more confident and true version of myself. My friends don't fully believe Finn is leaving town, so I'm still staying with them. I love them, but it's like having 4 older siblings fussing over me like mother hens. I can't wait to have my own place. Thanks to everyone for the kindness and support. I think this is my last update on the matter because I don't want to waste any more time on that abusive piece of garbage. Remember, you know yourself best and can love yourself best. Life's too short not to make the right choices for your well-being and happiness because you matter. Comments. Aquinas, I'm glad your ex's mom and sister are on your side, and I'm glad you have awesome friends. Hey there. I know you probably don't want to, but it's super important to keep all those nasty messages your ex is sending you. Now that he's been charged with assault, it's crucial to have all that evidence ready for the next time you need to file a police report. They'll have to take it seriously then. In the meantime, focus on healing and finding peace. I'm really glad you're safe. Update 3. So here's the latest. I made a big move to Austin, even took a pay cut to do it. It's safe to share now because Finn is in prison for murder. Yeah, it's a wild story. Basically, Finn got insanely drunk at a local bar, started arguing with a retired Marine about the Marine's wife's abortion, and got his ass kicked. The Marine left, and then Finn picked a fight with another guy who teased him. Finn threw the guy into a wall, and unfortunately, the guy passed away a few days later from his injuries. A lot of people have called my posts fake and rage bait, and honestly, I get it. This story is straight out of a soap opera. Anyway, I got a new job in Austin and was in the middle of moving when Finn's dad asked me to testify about Finn's character and blame my abortion for his behavior. Of course, I refused. I moved with just the essentials and spent a wonderful summer traveling with friends. I just got back last week and have been unpacking in my new place. Austin is such a fun city. When I logged back on, I saw a lot of you were worried about me, so I wanted to give you an update. I'm totally okay and already have some new friends. I'm even at the shelter right now about to adopt the cutest senior Yorkie. Plus, I'm on the list for an adult Rottweiler and might get her soon, too. Big thanks to everyone who's been supportive. And yeah, I'm kind of rubbing my happiness in the faces of the trolls who wished me misery. No shame, I'm petty like that, ha ha ha. Cheers to new beginnings and happy times. It's exciting here and the people are awesome. For the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to the future with real optimism. Ciao.